Hello. Welcome to the Pinfall podcast. I am your host, a husk of a woman. I'm joined by my co-host, Marcus.
Liz is suffering from that vaccine second dose symptoms.
Like I said in my tweet, the fact that I'm even doing this is like a testament to my commitment to this fucking podcast. So I could be asleep in bed right now.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, I probably wouldn't be sleeping though.
Hearing a little scratchiness in your mic though, but it's not too bad.
Better not be. I mean, my voice is also kind of scratchy, so.
No, it's like static, like slight static.
Those wondering, tonight I am not drinking. I have not been drinking for the last, I don't even know how long it's been. I haven't had a drink for 4 days.
Wow. Like most people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel weird about it. It's one of those things where I'm like, damn.
Can you do me a quick favor? Because it's going to bother me. Can you just unplug and replug in your mic? From the mic itself, not from the laptop. I'll mute you so nobody else. Alright. Say something?
Hi.
Say like a whole sentence.
And my microphone is not working.
Oh, it's better. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's of shit.
Yeah, so pardon Liz's fatigue during this podcast, but she's really feeling it, so I'll be picking up most of the slack in terms of energy. But happy Takeover Stand and Deliver Night 1. My god, did this show deliver.
Did it stand?
Damian Priest stood. He tweeted. He said he stood and the show delivered.
Alright, well, now I'm mad that I said anything. I'm mad about certain things. I am pleased with other things. I know a lot of people are actually really pissed about tonight, but I think it was a good pay-per-view altogether.
Are people pissed that Dexter Lumis got pinned by LA Knight?
You know, I don't know about that actually. I really didn't see it going that way, honestly.
I'm glad it happened though, because that was like a really big moment.
That was a good match.
But so shall we talk about like how our predictions went and what's happening with that? So because there's 2 nights, we're gonna wait until night 2 before we declare a winner and deal out a punishment. And Liz is gonna be stacking up her losses tonight with tomorrow.
If I don't feel a ton better tomorrow, I'm going to have a seltzer from tonight, Friday.
Yeah.
I will drink it, I promise.
But let's talk about the big loser of tonight, the cat.
Oh.
What a stupid idiot.
What a dummy.
So, going to individual scores so far. This isn't the final scores because we still have tomorrow. Liz, how did you do with the scores?
I did pretty fucking good, honestly. Well, in terms of the contest, I did pretty fucking good.
Do you want to say what your numbers were? Is what I'm asking.
I was good for that.
Okay.
It was a segue.
I
think I got 1 wrong.
Yes, you would have gotten 1 wrong because you got that. We had 2 different. You got one of them right, and the other one you got wrong, and then the rest you got right. I also got 4 right and 1 wrong. Therefore, this is my 1 seltzer. very light today. It was a successful pay-per-view for both of us, at least on day one.
We're going into tomorrow on equal footing, which is nice.
Right, yeah.
I was really worried before we gave our predictions. I was worried that we were going to be like, there'd come a point tonight where it'd be like, well, there's no fucking way that somebody else is going to win.
Yeah. But it's solid.
I wish I were drinking with you. Right now, I'm just going to drink my regular soft seltzer. I have 3 of these because I need my body to start working the way it was supposed to.
Oh, no, nobody will forget that you need to drink another can tomorrow in addition to whatever you have. But
so, I'm just going to say, it's so sad because like when you don't feel good, everything tastes like shit.
Mm-hmm.
The water that normally, like, I do 2 liters of water a day and I enjoy it because our water tastes really good because it's from the Brita filter. It tastes like fucking Dasani. The moment I was so thirsty this morning, and the moment I tried it and I realized that, I was like, cruelty.
And we could have a whole separate discussion on what the best tasting waters are.
It's Fiji.
I disagree, but okay.
Really?
I'd say Poland Spring.
Ooh.
Poland Spring or Core.
Core water is delicious.
But anyway,
Right.
before we go on a whole sidetrack of good tasting waters, the cat. So the little dummy predicted 3 right, shockingly, and 2 wrong. So she is the big loser of tonight. We'll see if anything changes tomorrow because she does have some different stuff from us. So there is a possibility that she could pull ahead. Very unlikely, but it's possible.
I think it's interesting that for a couple of them, we all had the same prediction. I like that.
Yeah. I think it was 3 of them, we had the same ones. No. Two of them, all 3 of us had the same predictions.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so if you don't know and you're new to the podcast, this will apply to tomorrow. Whoever has the most correct predictions will be crowned the Pinfall Podcast Prediction Champion and have to deal out a punishment to the loser. But that's not happening today because there's still a part 2 to stand and deliver.
I better feel fucking good by then, I swear to God.
Alright, so shall we talk about the actual card itself?
You know, I suppose we shall.
This was a great ass I don't want to say it's a great ass pay-per-view because it's not over, but it's a great ass night.
So bad.
They're not quite used to the simulcast between USA and Peacock because there were a couple glitches that happened. But I feel like it's not going to happen really at all anymore.
Can I say what the worst thing about Peacock is right now?
What's that? You can't pause it?
Outside of the fact that, like, I just found out today that it's only in America that this is happening. WWE Network is staying on in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not permanently.
So bad.
It's not staying up permanently.
I want to be able to pause things because, like, I had to pee so bad for 90% of tonight. There was, like, no time for me to get up and be like, well, I'm gonna go deal with this now.
Yeah. You'll have to wait till before SummerSlam.
Can't hold my pee until SummerSlam, dude.
Now the question is, will that be before or after Backlash? Because apparently, after WrestleMania, it's going to be Money in the Bank and then Backlash after that. And then SummerSlam.
Okay. I really hope that they announce the schedule soon because I think they will after WrestleMania or maybe even during WrestleMania because I have something planned for the end of May. Now I'm like, shit. Like, I've been waiting to see my family for so long, and now that I've got that planned, it's like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Am I really gonna have to cancel seeing them just for fucking a pay-per-view?
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Oh.
But I can travel while working, so, like, I could go see them midway through the week to Saturday.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, going back to the pay-per-view itself. So we started off in the pre-show with Toni Storm versus Zoey Stark. We finally see Toni Storm after her loss against Io Shirai.
Yes, indeed we do. All right. So I also just want to say, because I wasn't feeling well, my notes might not be stellar. Anyways, so we start with Stark getting a headlock on Toni. Toni pulls her hair, gets her put into a head scissor submission hold. Toni then gets a headlock of her own on Stark, and Stark unhands Toni into an arm sub. And get a shoulder tackle to Stark and a hard right to Toni. There's an uppercut to Storm afterwards, and then an intense missile dropkick to Toni. Stark goes up top. Storm pulls her down, sending her back first into the mat. Snap suplex to Stark and a single leg crab that Toni is just fully sitting into. Stark then kicks her away with her free leg. Gets Stark spearing Toni into the corner. Stark is then tackled and punched, and there's a power slam to Stark. Storm goes up top, and Zoey stops her with a fist. Get a superplex to Toni. Then a barrage of hits and kicks to Stark. Storm goes for the German suplex, but Stark locks her leg around Toni's. An inverted double underhook from Stark to Toni, and a running kick to the face. Storm then is put on the shoulders of Stark, but wiggles free. An electric chair to Stark, and then a facebuster from that position. Toni is looking for the Storm Zero, but Zoey counters with a kick upside the face. And then there's a German suplex to Stark, and a second. And then finally the Storm Zero, but Stark counters. I guess. The counter just sort of looked like Stark couldn't get her legs up all the way. She was supposed to.
No, she was kicking her in the head.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Stark counters by kicking Toni in the head and wins with an inside cradle.
I noticed that, and I figured you would say something about it. So I took a mental note of it. There was a very clever maneuver that happens during the Ciampa Walter fight, which I wonder if you noticed, but was it that? I think it was that match. No, it was the Pete Kushida match. But the fact that we started off with Toni and Zoey, that was our pre-show. You just knew it would be a great pay-per-view after that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was so mad that I feel sick for, because I was like, I was looking forward to this so much, and like the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, it's wrestling.
It's okay. The big day is tomorrow. Adam and Kyle, Finn and Karrion, Johnny and Bronson now. But next up we have Pete Dunne versus Kushida. Also, we didn't put a prediction on Toni versus Zoey, just so everyone knows. We didn't put a prediction on that because that wasn't announced until last night.
I think so.
So it was way too late, and we definitely wouldn't have been able to do anything with the cat for that. But Pete Dunne versus Kushida for the title of best technical wrestler in the world. I predicted Kushida purely because I thought they would want to give him a win just after he lost to Johnny.
Yeah, but I chose Pete Dunne. The cat chose Pete Dunne. We're both on the same page. So right off the bat, Dunne goes for the triangle submission hold. Kushida quickly looks for the armbar. Pete then gets a calf crusher, but Kushida transitions out into his own leg submission. Kushida then wraps Dunne's arm backwards, and Dunne turns it around on Kushida, who counters it himself. We then get a springboard, and Dunne drags Kushida's arm from under him, sending him down onto his face, and we get the X-Plex to Kushida onto the apron. Dunne then falls with Kushida's arm in hand. At one point at this juncture, Dunne stomps Kushida's hand into his fucking ear, and I said, like that.
Pete was brutal this match. Like, my god.
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
Scary. Dunne stomps Kushida's hand into his ear. I just said that. Get a boot to the face of Dunne. Get a boot to the face of Dunne, a hip toss, a cartwheel, and a dropkick to Mr. Pete. Because Kushida knows how to do a barrage of hits, unlike certain wrestlers. Party.
You really fixate on that.
I do. But I added true to this one. So, I'm being fair. Kushida goes off the ropes, and Dunne avoids it ringside. Kick to the leg of Kushida. There's a springboard back elbow to Mr. Dunne, and a knee to the face of Dunne. Pete then hits the octopus on Kushida, but Kushida reverses into a partial hoverboard. Kushida, however, can't lock it in because Dunne is holding his own hand. We get a chop to Kushida and an overhead kick to Dunne. There's a springboard back elbow that's met with what may as well be a neck breaker because it basically looked like it broke fucking Pete's neck. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was not a neck breaker. It was just mean.
Mm-hmm.
There's a headbutt to the face of Kushida. Kushida then hooks and drops Dunne. Pete stomps on Kushida's elbow, like the wrong way around. Shayna, back when Shayna was scary.
Fucking Kushida really, like, he went stiff when his elbow was being stomped. Like, he didn't flatten out like everyone else does. He left that shit up. Like, he said, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, which I didn't really care for entirely, but for him. So Dunne stomps Kushida's elbow, slams him to the ground. At this point, I couldn't keep up. There's a running dropkick to Pete, and then Kushida whips Dunne into the corner. Dunne goes up top. Kushida hits him with a springboard kick to basically Pete's ass. At this point, both men are up top. Kushida hits the hoverboard lock, sending Dunne sailing to the ground, and he manages to keep the lock in place. Dunne, however, grabs the rope. Kushida then twists Dunne's arm with his little leggies and puts him into another submission hold. Kushida then goes off the top onto Pete's arm after Pete breaks that hold. We get a double underhook submission hold on Pete. At this point, Pete ends up going back to breaking fingers. He stomps on Kushida's hand multiple times. It makes me so stressed. That's the one feeling I would never want to know.
You think about it though, it probably doesn't hurt that bad because wrestling shoes are normally like very flat and padded, and I mean it's a very like smooth surface. Plus, he's got the cushion of the ring underneath it, so it probably just feels like a little pressure. Doesn't
But
hurt that
still,
bad.
from the outsider's perspective. After that, there's a kick to the face of Kushida and a bitter end for Pete Dunne to win.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed this. I tried to hear if you mentioned it, but I don't think you did. There was one point where I think Kushida had a hoverboard lock on Pete Dunne right by the rope, and Pete brought Kushida to the floor and tried to get him pinned while being put in the hoverboard lock. He kicked out, and then Pete immediately put his foot to the rope so that the ref would break it.
Yeah.
That was just really smart, the fact that he kind of had a fail-safe for in case Kushida broke out.
Yeah. I did notice that. I mean, smart wrestlers, it's just I don't know how you can claim that title when there's Timothy Thatcher.
I'm sure he'll come after Pete Dunne now. That'll be a great-ass match.
Where the fuck is he, though?
I don't know, he might have COVID.
Ow.
Anyone can get COVID, even if you wear a mask.
Still.
So that match was fantastic. That was like just pure traditional, exactly what we expect from Kushida. Just the best wrestling you can imagine. So after that, we had, I'll say it now, my personal favorite match of the night, which was the Gauntlet match. I expected this to just be, mid-card central, but this match was so good. This was so good. Like, even right out the gate with Leon and Swerve.
It was really good. It didn't go how I expected.
Yeah.
Let's check.
It definitely didn't go the way anyone besides me expected. Because I know it made total sense for Dexter to win because he has the storyline with them. And that's why I was so unsure whether or not I would actually get the prediction for this, which, by the way, I predicted Bronson Reed. So I got this correct. Liz predicted Dexter Lumis. The cat predicted Leon Ruff.
Which is just extra funny when you consider the fact that Leon Ruff comes out crawling. The Swerve has already attacked him. So, let's begin. We start with Ruff versus Swerve. Ruff, at this point, obviously has already been attacked by Swerve. He manages to get up and unloads on Swerve. There's a boot to the face of Swerve. Swerve then avoids a running and jumping Ruff, who clings to the chain barricade, kicks Swerve on the way down. Swerve then drops Ruff onto the padded barricade. There's a drop kick to Swerve, and Leon unloads him into the ring. No, from the ring. Okay. He then stomps on Swerve's fingers. Swerve drops Ruff into the barricade again and then drop kicks him in the head. We then get a corkscrew neckbreaker onto Swerve off of the announce desk. Some elbows to Swerve. Swerve slingshots Ruff neck first into the ropes. Get a powerbomb to Ruff. It's countered with a huge Hurricane Rana. Ruff. Jesus Christ. That was a fucking move.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were up top on the ropes at that point. And
what was it? Leon Ruff had like some of the best moves I've seen him do today. He was one of the best in the entire pay-per-view today. One of. There was one person I thought was better, but my God, did he come out swinging?
Yeah, he really did. It was fucking impressive. At this point, Bronson comes out. Leon jumps out onto Bronson, who catches him and plants him in the ring. Reed starts focusing on Swerve. There's a stalling suplex to Swerve that stalls until Ruff goes up top and dropkicks Swerve from Reed's arms to the ground. Bronson then... Fucking Ruff thought he might get a few hits on Reed. So Bronson just, like, bobbers him and then sits on him.
And then does it again.
Then eventually, yeah, and then he does it again. Leon then doesn't learn his lesson. He tries to suplex Reed. Swerve tries to fucking help. Reed then goes to the back of the line, grabs both men, suplexes them both. At this point, Grimes comes out. We get a moonsault onto Reed, and Swerve then drop kicks him. Grimes gets Swerve on his side with some money. Grimes then chokes Leon out with his vest. The boot to the face of Swerve from Ruff. Swerve tosses Ruff into the buckles. Grimes and Swerve start working together to keep Bronson from entering the ring again, which doesn't really make sense because, like, you gotta pin him sooner or later. There's a shoulder tackle from Grimes that flattens Ruff, and then a clothesline from Swerve that also flattens Ruff. Swerve then eliminates Leon. Dexter comes out. There's a DDT to Reed from Lumis. Lumis punches Swerve and then slithers at Mr. Grimes. We get a slingshot back body drop to Swerve from Lumis and then another one to Grimes. There's a bulldog to Swerve from Lumis and clotheslines to Swerve from Lumis. Reed and Dexter together to exchange some blows. Lumis lifts Reed and Reed wiggles free, but Lumis sends him from the ring altogether. With the aid of Cameron, lowering the ropes. Grimes then takes Lumis from the ring and nearly kills him. Then LA Knight is out, and he's talking shit. Reed apprehends him and tosses him into the ring to get him to shut the fuck up. There's a knee to the face of Reed from LA, and then a Samoan drop to Knight from Reed as Knight tries to bring himself back into the ring.
That was a great Samoan drop.
Reed then... That was big. It was a nasty one. Bronson tosses Swerve into and over the ropes. He then sends Swerve into the post. There's a kick to the face of Reed from Knight, who shoulder tackled and dropped by Bronson. There's then a neckbreaker to Bronson from Knight. Grimes comes up from behind, hits Knight with a spinebuster. Knight has a spinebuster onto Grimes.
I just want to say that neckbreaker onto Bronson, that was like Randy Orton level RKO shit. Like that was tough.
Incredible. Grimes comes up from behind Knight with a spinebuster. Jesus Christ. Grimes comes up from behind. Knight gets a spinebuster onto Grimes. Swerve goes off the top, but Knight meets him and superplexes him. Knight eliminates Lumis, who is trying to strangle Grimes. Reed eliminates...
He also eliminated Dexter with a was it jackknife cover?
Yeah.
Really impressive.
It was really cool. And also made me very angry. Reed then eliminates LA Knight, and Dexter says, well, now it's my time to shine, and gets the silence off onto Knight as payback. At this point, it's just Swerve, Reed, and Grimes. We get a nice little chop party. There's a super kick to Reed from Grimes. Swerve drops Grimes with a neckbreaker, and Reed just falls onto the men. There's a super kick to Bronson, who clotheslines Swerve. Reed is then Puma tackled by Grimes, and Grimes is single leg drop kicked by Swerve. Grimes tries to roll Swerve up. Swerve reverses, eliminates Grimes. Then Bronson Reed up top. He gets kicked in the head by Swerve. Swerve tosses Reed from the top onto the apron. It's a 450 splash onto Bronson. It is a single leg drop kick to Reed and a second one. There's a kick to the ribs and a third drop kick to Reed's head. Reed then powerbombs Swerve and some weird like reverse driver shit. The tsunami to win.
Yeah, that was like Bronson. Reverse pile driver. That was insane.
I didn't even get to see it and they didn't replay it, so.
It's like, yeah, it's like a sit out pile driver, but Swerve was on his back.
Yeah. It was wild.
Bronson really put up an argument for why he should win the title, and you know what? I fully support him. I'm so glad I picked the challenger.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, I picked the challenger too, so glad I did too.
But now it makes me wonder about the story, cause you got Dexter, who is already in a story with Johnny Gargano, and it seems like LA Knight's gonna want some revenge on Dexter. Seems like they started a storyline with that. So do you think maybe Johnny and LA Knight team up? I feel like their personalities would mesh really well.
I hate that, but yeah, I can see it. That seems like the most annoying shit in the world.
He becomes Austin Theory's uncle.
It works.
Yeah. I love it.
I agree with it.
But yeah, that match was fantastic. But by the way, is Bronson Reed a Samoan, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Because not only did he do the Samoan drop, but he also has like that very common Samoan tattoo, which is like all the triangles. That
Yeah,
like
I think
triangle
he's from New
pattern.
Zealand.
Okay.
Um, I would like to quickly request a quick bathroom break.
Sure.
The seltzer goes right through me. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll hold down the fort.
Okay.
All right. Well, you're now all stuck with me. So, not only was that a great match, we also had some great stuff coming up later after this. This is definitely my favorite pay-per-view of the year already. If Night 2 also holds up, but it will have to compete with Royal Rumble, which will be pretty difficult. But you know what? Let me give a little top 10 update for y'all after today. I'll give another one on Sunday after Mania. But number 10, we got Nash Carter. Number 9, Wes Lee. Number 8, Bobby Lashley. Number 7, Roman Reigns. Number 6, Finn Balor. Number 5, Riddle. Number 4, Shayna Baszler. Number 3, Big E. Number 2, Nia Jax. And number 1, unfortunately, Drew McIntyre. And if you don't know, those are the Pinfall Podcast Power Rankings, which are they compile the wins, losses, title match wins, title match losses, titles won and lost, main event wins, pay-per-view wins, and our picks for wrestler and match of the night. Because some matches are more important than others. You know what? I haven't gone over the bottom 10 in a while. All right, so let's go over the bottom 10 actually, because that's so this is from best to worst in the bottom 10. Number 10. Miriam, does Peter have to go through punishments for wrong predictions? Yes, she will have to drink hard seltzers. We'll give them to her either in a water bowl, or if she wants, she can shotgun them, but it's up to her. And we will be giving her a punishment. Whoever wins has to give Pepita a punishment. Yeah. Don't worry, it is fair across the board. She suffers as much as we do. But bottom 10, Jey Uso, John Morrison, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Jeff Hardy, The Miz, Toni Storm, Elias, Mustafa Ali. It's the first time I've screwed that up this year. And Randy Orton, shockingly. And Sami Zayn, unfortunately. I could throw like Logan Paul down below Sami Zayn. But as far as the predictions go, just to recap, Liz and I are both 4-1 after today. Pepita is 3-2. Shockingly, she has 3 correct predictions. So we'll see after tomorrow how things go. And Liz is back.
Hello. I'm suffering every day.
Oh yeah. Aren't we all?
I really feel like these might be my last days. Maybe I'm being dramatic. I don't feel like I'm being dramatic.
So, do you want to move on to the beginning of the end for Walter's title run?
No, actually, I don't want to move on to this because I'm still mad about it.
You're mad about it? What are you mad? Oh, you're mad that Thatcher didn't show up.
Stinky bastard had to go and get COVID.
I mean, they might have a promo with him tomorrow. You never know.
I say I wanted a promo.
I mean, you want him to come out. Would you rather him come out for 2 seconds just to show his face, or like a minute-long promo?
Just wanted him to turn on Tommaso, and the more Walter looked like shit tonight, I was like, yes, this is the time. Dirty win.
You know Walter would never go for a dirty win.
I would have.
Yeah, I know you would have. That's why Pepita's your tag partner. But up next we have Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter for the NXT UK Championship title. Liz, who did you predict for this match?
Chose Walter.
And I chose Walter as well, and so did the cat.
She's smart. She's useless, but she's smart.
Yeah, one of her few face picks.
Technically, I think he's the heel in this, so.
Oh, yeah.
Just a face in our eyes.
There is no reason for Tommaso to be a face. After he literally murdered Jake Atlas, he shouldn't be getting, like, filtered in chants or whatever. It's dumb.
Yeah. Also, my jewel just got stuck to my ring. Couldn't get it out. Anyways.
But this match was fantastic. I just want to say. This was amazing.
So many ways it could have been better, but that's me.
No, you mean there's one way it could have been better.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever, man. So Ciampa is trying to get Walter into an arm sub, but Walter's like too wily for that shit. There's a huge shoulder tackle to Ciampa. Ciampa unloads on Walter. The chop just stops the momentum entirely. Walter then strings him out across the ropes, and Chop lowers Ciampa to ringside. Walter is then just trying to chop the shit out of Ciampa, and in doing so, chops the fucking... whatever the fuck it's called, the banner on top of the fucking announce desk in half.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, I get it. It was scored. But at the same time, like, Jesus Christ.
We're allowed to be a mark for 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'll be a mark on this one. Yeah, shit was fucking wild. Ciampa then is going for the Willow's Bell, but Walter is just not going down like that. Ciampa tries to lift Walter, but Walter won't move. He then kicks the arm of Walter. We get a big fucking boot to the face of Ciampa. A single leg crab to Ciampa that Walter sits into. Pretty much at that point, I think was sitting down completely. We get a boot to the face again of Ciampa. Walter pulls Ciampa from the apron and over the ropes with a suplex. There's a chop to Walter and a knee to the face of Ciampa. There's another clothesline to Walter, and then a chop, and another clothesline, and another, and so many fucking clotheslines.
Oh yeah, it's trying to.
Walter looked fantastic. Ciampa, like, this shit was like 2 minutes long.
I mean, well, I get what he was trying to do, because somebody like Walter, you just got to keep wearing him down over and over and over and over again.
Get that.
I
guess I get it.
I dislike Ciampa's morals and ethics as a human being, but he was great today. He put up a great performance.
This was the one part that I didn't like.
Right. I get that.
Anywho, there's like 40 of those clotheslines. One big one from Walter just fucking flattens Ciampa. Walter stayed on his feet for all 40 of Ciampa's, and then just one took Ciampa's ass out. However, Ciampa clotheslines Walter and then lifts him before driving him down. Ciampa goes for the fairy tale ending, but Walter counters, lifting Ciampa instead and bringing him into the mat. Bridging him, sorry. only see so much. We get a successful fairy tale ending to Walter, which was really impressive. Am I yawn? Oh, God fucking bless. The knee to the face of Walter. Ciampa runs at Walter, who's pretty much just grabs him and starts choking him out. I thought was fucking funny. The German suplex and a huge lariat to Ciampa. Walter's looking for the power bomb, but Ciampa bites his fucking hand. This, the age of COVID, Ciampa's just biting paws like that. Walter kicks Ciampa in the spine and then clotheslines him. Ciampa has Walter in an arm sub and starts trying to break Walter's fingers. Ciampa starts looking for the Willow's Bell again, but Walter backs away to ringside. Walter starts beating on Ciampa's chest against the ropes with his left hand, but they're not quite the same as if they were with the right hand. Because Walter is a right-handed king, just saying. Ciampa then turns back, grabs that right hand that he's been trying to fuck up all night now, and starts pounding on it before Walter headbutts him. It's the gentlest little nudge.
Those were the gentlest little headbutts I've ever seen.
Just think he had a bad angle. Whew.
Yeah.
I try to cover my mouth when I yawn. I always forget to. On the podcast. In real life, I don't forget to. Walter then goes up top and is brought down by Ciampa. There's some chops to Walter. Walter stomps on Ciampa's chest and Ciampa's neck with his fucking feetsies. There's a powerbomb to Ciampa. Walter then just fucking launches Mr. Tommaso and drops him into the mat to win.
Oh yeah. Also, we're getting a lot of dropped frames right now. What is going on?
Oh no.
I think something up with the internet.
Since I'm uploading 41 videos right now on YouTube.
Probably. So also Eric Rowan tweeted, hey Triple H, I want to fight Walter.
Eric Rowan. Fuck yeah, brother.
I would love that. If Eric Rowan came back just to fight Walter, but he won't. We all know he's not going to. He just wants to get work, which totally understandable. God, we're getting more dropped frames like every second. It's kind of worrying me, but
You are pretty pixelated for me right now.
okay. You seem pretty fine to me, but I don't know how the stream looks. Let me actually tune into the stream right now just to see how that looks. Yeah. It just looks like it has a low frame rate. It'll pick back up in a second. So after that, we had a little promo. Not exactly a promo, but we got the little puppy again. Got the little puppy roaming the CWC halls, going out to the ring, going to Frankie's feet once again, and then being lifted up. And as soon as I saw those tattoos, I knew it was Taya Valkyrie. I already knew it was, but now that was even more confirmation. But her new name is Frankie Monet, and we'll see her on Tuesday.
Fucking hell of a name.
It is. Seems to be a very, again, very Carmella-esque character. Which isn't a bad thing. I
feel
think
like NXT can do it right.
Yeah, and I think that's like the one trope that NXT's missing right now. But also, can I talk about something real quick about that Triple H said on the press call after the last match today? It's about the last match. he said that Shirai has earned the right to do what she wants to do, take time off, Gonzalez rematch, etc. He references it being a funny thing when people assume a loss means a call-up. Michaels questions she would want to go anywhere else when she could stay and face the best. So it doesn't seem like Io is going anywhere. And the fact that she's getting the freedom to do what she wants, it's really nice, because I'm sure you don't get that kind of freedom on the main roster. I'm sure that's why Finn likes NXT so much, because you have that freedom there.
I also think, like, for people who are annoyed about Io dropping the title, it's like, I mean, there's two ways you can do this shit. It's either have her repeatedly face people.
Yeah.
Make it boring.
She might.
This is the perfect time.
She might also become a tag team with Zoey Stark.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see any problem with it. I was actually kind of pleased that they ended it just before I was getting tired of it, I think.
Yeah, she's faced like every formidable woman on that roster for the title. She had a great run. It's about time it came to an end. It didn't drag on too long. So now we have the strongest woman on NXT as the champion.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm.
was gonna just say, like, yeah, Raquel's very likely a trash person, but like we say,
Yeah.
no ethical consumption of wrestling.
But also, people with those political views are going to exist. They're going to be in media such as this. It's inevitable. Just gotta grin and bear it.
Unfortunately.
But the question is, and I'm asking if you want to put up a little prediction right now with no stakes at all. Who do you think will be Raquel's challenger first? Do you think it'll be Io? Or do you think it'll be Dakota?
I think it'll be Zoey.
I think Zoey. I could see that. I just don't think anyone else is like in the line of fire right now, besides those three.
Yeah.
Miriam said, "In the perfect time to push my Io Shirai versus Walter dream match agenda."
There we go.
Yes.
Walter would not know what to do with her.
It'll be like fighting
Exert.
a more squirrely Ilya Dragunov. Which people are comparing Walter versus Ilya to Walter versus Tommaso. And yes, Walter versus Tommaso was great, but it does not compare to the match of a century that Walter versus Ilya was.
That was a once-in-a-lifetimer.
You will never get a better match than that in this decade. But we did have another promo after that. We had an interview with Bronson Reed. He said, "Tomorrow I'll beat Johnny Gargano." Johnny walks in and says, "Reality is going to hit you when you get in the greatest... Wait. Reality is going to hit you when you get in with the greatest takeover performer of all time. Enjoy the night. Tomorrow's a different story." I am so looking forward to that match.
I hope I feel like a person tomorrow, so I can enjoy it.
I'm sure you will. You can't feel bad for Adam versus Kyle. You can't.
That'll make me feel bad for different reasons, so.
Yeah, it's gonna suck when Adam Cole wins, right?
You know what? Shut up. Wrong.
Alright, so we then have another fantastic match. MSK versus Legado del Fantasma versus the Grizzled young veterans, soon to be recognized, for the now vacant NXT Tag Team Championship.
Yes. So buckle in because this is probably the most notes I've got for any match.
Yeah, this is chaotic.
Wild tosses Wes. He tags in Mendoza. They slam Zach Gibson together. They drop kick Wesley together. Gibson then shoves Mendoza into the mat and tries to do the same with Wes, who refuses to go down. Nash gets in. He does his little repeating senton onto Gibson. Mendoza attacks Nash from behind, and Gibson takes Wild down from the apron. James Drake gets in. God bless us all. He drop kicks Wild from the apron, sends Mendoza from the ring. Nash crossbodies Gibson, and Drake clotheslines Nash. Drake then stomps Nash in the corner. There's a headlock on Carter. Drake keeps Mendoza from the ring, power slams Carter. James Drake goes for the suplex, but Nash Carter wiggles free. He manages to tag Wesson. Massive offense, complete with a Wesley dropkick to James Drake and Nash double stomping James Drake. Nash gets in again, dives off of Wes's back onto Grizzled Young Vets. Legado gets back in, and Raul and Wild dive out onto all of the men. At this point, Wild is technically the legal man, though. He hangs Nash up on the ropes and then tags Mendoza in. They team dropkick into Carter. Gibson breaks the cover. Wild and Mendoza throw Gibson from the ring. Mendoza dropkicks Nash Carter. Wild gets in. There's a slingshot-assisted crossbody onto Nash Carter on the ground and a sliding crossbody to the man. Legado do their little interchangeable in and out thing where they're just clotheslining Nash in the corner. Finally, Mendoza gets in. There's a double suplex on Nash Carter and a moonsault onto Nash. James Drake rolls up Mendoza out of absolutely nowhere, gets thrown. Wesley gets in, punches James Drake, sends an elbow to Mendoza. There's a roundhouse to Mendoza and a snapmare and pinpoint dropkick to James Drake. Then dives out onto Gibson, dives out onto Legado. We get a handspring Pele kick to James Drake, assisted moonsault to James Drake with Nash freshly legal. We then get a knee to the jaw of James Drake, and Carter wants to tag. But Wesley isn't available because he has been sidelined on the apron. Mendoza hits a corkscrew suplex to Nash. We get Wes in off of that. There's a 2-for-1 neckbreaker on Legado. My throat keeps getting dry. A 2-for-1 neckbreaker on Legado from Wes. Gibson interferes for no reason. Helps James Drake crush Wes's fingers in the turnbuckle, because if you remember, Wes broke his fucking hand.
That was a great moment.
Pretty sure the hand that they're targeting is not the hand he broke.
I don't know. But I don't know if it was ever specified which one he broke, unless he came out to the ring at a cast at one point.
It was, because he took a picture of the hand.
Oh, okay. Well, the one they targeted was his left hand.
I think he broke his right hand.
Yeah.
Makes sense, because if you break your hand, like, those are delicate bones. They don't really heal as quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We get an arm sub on Wes, and the sweetest fucking moment. Nash Carter gets in. He's held back by James Drake while Gibson breaks Wesley's arm. Wesley taps once. Nash just grabs his hand. I said,
I popped so hard for this.
This shit fucking broke me. And like, when I'm sick, I will start crying for no reason. I was looking at pictures of Kofi winning at Mania. Started crying. In the middle of a fucking...
Mm-hmm.
Just like... So, this shit, I was like, okay. Alright. I cried enough. I can't do this anymore. Mendoza then drop kicks Gibson to break all of this submissioning up. Wild goes off the back of James Drake on Mendoza's shoulders, onto Gibson, then Mendoza dumps James Drake. We get a Doomsday Device to Wild ringside from GYV, and a double stomp to Mendoza across the shoulders of Nash from Wes. So at this point, I don't know if my note was clear. Wild and Mendoza get split up. Doomsday device from GYV to Wild on one side of the ring. On the other side, that's where we got the double stomp onto the onto Mendoza, who is draped over Ash Carter's shoulders. MSK and GYV are duking it out now in the middle of the ring, because obviously this was where we were supposed to be in the first place. Ash goes off the ropes with a double cutter to GYV. Wesley gets in. We get an assisted either a cutter or a neck breaker to Gibson. MSK to win. Best fucking moment of my life. I started crying because Nash started crying, and I was like,
yeah, none of like I think every tag team that was in that ring deserved this title. Like I wouldn't be mad if any of them got it, but MSK really deserve it just because they add so much to NXT. They add so much to the tag scene. Just by having like such a fresh personality, they have so much energy, clear passion. They're just enjoying everything they're doing. Plus, they're hella talented.
It's just so nice to see like friendship. Friendship. And I know Triple H isn't going to break my fucking heart by breaking them up.
Yeah. You don't have tag teams with this kind of synergy on the main roster, which sucks. The closest thing you have is the New Day, which they do have a lot of synergy, but I don't think you see that very clearly in the ring as you do with these guys.
Yeah, I think, but that's the thing that we get from GYV as well.
Yeah,
they
GYV
have such good chemistry.
Even Legado too.
I think the thing that was really cute was James Drake had, I think, Wes on the mat, just like holding him down. He like looks over at Zach Gibson, who's out of frame, and just goes, "Zach, you okay?" I was like, "Okay, don't do that. You're breaking me."
Yeah, you give a thumbs up, like, "You okay?"
It's like, I think that's what's so sweet is that like you don't have like a lot of teams that are like at each other's throats or anything like that. Like everybody that's a tag team has good chemistry. And they're friends, and that's so sweet. Like they're taking one thing away from me with fucking Disputed Era. But at least they're giving back.
Right.
Which is the one thing the main roster doesn't understand how to do.
Yeah. Although when they took away the New Day, they gave us AJ and Omos.
True.
That was like at the same time, actually.
It's just such pure fun.
Yeah. Also, can I quickly recap Triple H's press call, because Sean Ross Sapp tweeted a whole thread recapping, and I just want to read that thread, which will have some information.
You can make it quick.
Okay. All right. So starting from the top, Grin Gary Cassidy is up first and asks Triple H why Raquel was their call to dethrone Io Shirai. Triple H puts over Shirai's reign and says the right woman at the right time in Raquel. Her presence makes it clear she's a star. Triple H says if Io Shirai wants to take time off or wants to go right back at Raquel, she's earned the right. Triple H says NXT talent is dominant. Then there's a bump in the road and people assume they're leaving, and that doesn't happen anywhere else. HBK says NXT has the deepest, best women's division in the world. He doesn't see why Io would go anywhere else. Quote from Triple H, everybody wants to face Walter until they get chopped. Triple H says Walter is headed back home, but he wants Walter to come back sometime. Shawn Michaels loves how loyal Walter is to NXT UK. Triple H says if Walter wants, he can stay in the UK and work and come do NXT in the USA at the same time if he wants, noting it's a 7-hour flight. Triple H says he considers Sarah Amato maybe the best producer in the world. Shawn Michaels says the varying producer styles makes the wrestlers more well-rounded. Triple H reiterates that he didn't break up any other companies at last week's talent meeting, or bring up any other companies at last week's talent meeting, and said that he just wanted to provide info to the talent Shawn Michaels says he didn't speak at the meeting and tries to talk as little as possible at them. Michaels says the stare down between him and Adam Cole got him giddy and excited, and says it would have been great 15 years ago.
I just love the idea of Shawn being like, I don't like to talk during them.
But apparently a lot of people were taking that little stare down as Adam Cole and Shawn Michaels are going to fight. But people forget Shawn Michaels has a really bad knee. Like, apparently there was at one point Shawn Michaels is walking down the ramp, like very recently, like today or a couple days ago. He's walking down the ramp and like it started giving out walking down the ramp.
Doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
He's an old dude. He fucking fought hard when he was a wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Wait, into his old age too.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think he's too old.
No, he's not super old, but he's old enough.
Yeah. Wrestling ages you. Alright, so after that tag match, we then have the main event. Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai, and all three of us, Kat included, picked Raquel Gonzalez. Also, we didn't go over the last match. Liz and I both picked MSK for the tag match. The Cat stupidly picked Legado del Fantasma. What was she thinking?
What a goofball.
But Raquel versus Io.
I'm surprised that she's not here.
Yeah. Can I just say with Raquel and Io? Least favorite match of the night.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like it was too quick, which I get because it's also being broadcast on USA, but also like you could dedicate a little more time to it.
Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't upset by it. It served its purpose, and it was a main event with women, which normally we have to fucking beg the main roster to do that. So
Triple H loves women, and Shawn Michaels too.
For them. All right. So Shirai immediately charges at Raquel. There's a boot to the face of Io. Io attempts head scissors, but Raquel catches her. Io refuses the powerbomb and clonks Raquel with her feet while upside down. There's an overhead kick on the apron to Raquel and a successful head scissors. We get double knees to the face of Raquel. God, I'm dehydrated. Let's see, where are we? Io then sends Raquel outside the ring and crossbody dives out onto her. Dakota attacks Io on the sideline, and the ref notices, obviously, and ejects her. The ref was staring at her plainly doing this. There's a back kick to Raquel and then a moonsault into the barricade to Raquel. Gonzalez throws Io into the post. She has Io in that weird little submission hold and tosses Io down onto her back. Io sets up for the 619, but Raquel elbows her as she goes in for it, then drops Io throat first into the ropes. Some drop elbows onto her. Tries to lift Io with no success. On the second attempt, it ends with Io landing on her feet over Raquel's shoulder. There's an elbow to the chest of Io, and then back into that funky little submission hold. This time, Shirai goes up and over, landing on her feet. We get a nasty Hurricane Rana to Raquel, and then a 619, as well as a springboard missile dropkick. Shirai lands on Raquel's back, flips her back first into the mat. She then goes up top, and Raquel grabs her and looks for the one-arm powerbomb, but Io avoids. They cross-face as they get down to the mat. Raquel then reaches the ropes. Shirai moonsaults off the top rope onto the ramp to Raquel. Then we get some double knees to the face of Raquel on the ramp, and Io, God bless her soul, climbs up the sick, nasty skeleton skull at the top of the ramp and dives out and crossbodies Raquel from it.
Just like she did at In Your House when she won the title. We've come full circle.
Io really says, my personal health is of no concern. We get back in the ring. Io goes up top, hits the over the moonsault on Raquel. Gonzalez then sends a boot to the face of Io and hits her with a single arm powerbomb ringside. Finally, a lariat folds Io inside out. We get another single arm powerbomb for Raquel to win and get the title.
Yep, our new NXT Women's Champion. And
Interested to see where this goes.
Yeah. She had a photo shoot right after, and Santos Escobar joined in and looked like he was so happy for her.
I'm happy to see the title change before it got boring. That's for sure.
Yeah. Io's reign was badass. She got it in a badass way. She's had amazing matches. I don't think she had a single dud while she was champion.
There were so many matches where it was like she gave everything. I hope she takes a little time off.
Yeah.
But sort of like when somebody cancels a show because they're like, we ran out of material.
Mm-hmm.
Before they just started like producing bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the best NXT women title runs. And the fact that she won it in a triple threat against Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was thrilled. It was beautiful. She did a great job. It's got to be historic.
She was the champion through the entire pandemic era.
Yeah.
Right when it started and right now when it's about ending. Wow.
It's more than Drew ever did. I'm sure.
It's a shame we couldn't get her her walkout as a champion in front of a crowd.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll still get it.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll get it again soon. Or not soon, but at some point.
Yeah.
Alright, so now would you like to talk about the bests of the night for TakeOver Night 1?
I would.
And then tomorrow we should do, instead of best of the night, bests of the pay-per-view.
Okay.
Alright, so this will be a tough one. This will be a tough one to figure out. So what do you think? Promo of the night. Is the dog or is it Bronson Reed?
Dog.
Dog? Okay. Dog. I'm just rating dog. Alright, so wrestler of the night. This one is gonna be very tough. Alright, so we started off with Toni Storm and Zoey Stark. I'm giving the pick of this match to Zoey Stark. She put up an excellent fight. She, ever since her debut, she's just been phenomenal in the ring. I hope she gets a title shot sometime soon. Because her match against Io, that wasn't for the title, right? That was just a match.
It was just a match.
Okay. Hopefully she gets a title shot soon. Because she definitely deserves it. She just needs, some story, some personality, I think. Then we had Pete Dunne versus Kushida. My pick is 100% Kushida. He nailed this match. He looked amazing. Him and Pete both just looked phenomenal, but Kushida really killed it. I mean, he gets better and better each match, and it's not like he was bad at any point. He just keeps looking better and better. Like he keeps pushing up the ceiling every time. Oh my god. And so after that we have the Gauntlet match. Leon Ruff is a close second for me, but I gotta go with Bronson Reed. I mean, Bronson looked fantastic while at the same time showing off like he balances his techniques with his gimmick of being the thick boy. Most of his moveset revolves around him being big and thick, but that doesn't mean he's not athletic and agile in any way. But that reverse sit out pile driver That was so cool. That really solidified my pick for him for this match.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter. I'm going with Walter. The fact that he was selling the messed up hand through the whole match, anytime it was touched by anything, would just cry out in pain, but also looked like a sick wrestler. Just
His chest afterwards.
oh my god, full of those blood blisters.
Ugh.
He is one of a kind. Yeah, that's all you can say. He's a legend, one of a kind, one of the best to ever exist. So then we had MSK versus Legado del Fantasma versus Grizzled young veterans soon to be recognized. I gotta go with Wesley. Wes was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, shout out to WWE breaking my fucking heart by tweeting a photo of Nash Carter clutching the title, holding it to his forehead, and saying, "Your dad is proud of you."
Oh,
How dare they? Breaking my fucking heart.
glad I didn't see that. I would have cried all my fucking makeup off. God.
Unbelievable. But yeah, Wesley was just absolutely amazing this match. I mean, his tag chemistry with Nash Carter is one thing, but also his in-ring physicality is unlike any other. He's so high-flying, but also hits so hard. That moment when he was like about to tap out, but Nash caught his hand. That was so good.
Ridiculous.
Oh my god. Anyone tells me any brand in WWE is better than NXT, they're wrong. They're dead wrong.
Also, the way that Nash like held his hand after that for a while, I was like, friendship.
Yeah. There was also one move that Wes did that really blew me away that I can't remember. But he had some really great spots in this match.
Did.
And then after that, we had Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai. I'm going with Io. She is amazing. She is a champion, even if she's not a champion. The fact that she threw it back to when she won the title by doing the splash off the skull, that was great. Everything that she did in this match was so fantastic. She had a great Hurricane Rana on Raquel. It's really, she's so talented.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so much talent displayed through the entire night that it is almost impossible for me to pick. Like, this isn't fair. That I have to pick one person out of everyone. Alright, so we're going to do the elimination game again. We're going to eliminate some people.
Okay.
So it's not Zoey Stark.
Very fair.
It's not Io Shirai.
Okay, fair.
It's not Bronson Reed.
Okay.
Even though I want it to be Bronson just because I love him so much. Spooch just said Leon Ruff. I give a shout out to Leon Ruff. I don't think he was the best just because.
Beginning to think that Splooch is just Pepita.
Yeah. Let's see. So that leaves Kushida, Walter, and Wesley. I'm gonna take out Wesley.
Really? Okay, well then you lost me on that one.
I think my pick is Walter. Walter's my pick for Wrestler of the Night.
No, I can't go against him.
So are you going along with me?
Yes.
All right. All right.
Only because he did a great job of selling everything. I mean, you break me because I really wanted to say Wesley, but mostly because I would like to say Wesley and Nash at the same time.
Yeah, if we were doing like tag team of the night, then absolutely. But since we're doing individuals, and Leon Ruff was he did a fantastic job today. Like we saw some stuff from him that we've never seen before. But that's why I didn't go with Kushida, because there's a little more to Wrestler of the Night than pulling off great moves. All right, so next up we have Match of the Night. And this one, I think I already said what I'm picking, but I'll go through them anyway. We have Toni Storm versus Zoey Stark. Fantastic way to start this whole show. Having this as a pre-show really solidified that this was going to be an amazing event. Both Toni and Zoey put up great performances. I wish it was just a little more motivated by story, but it's a pre-show match, so what else can you expect? Then we had Pete Dunne versus Kushida. Amazingly solid, traditional wrestling throughout this entire match. Amazing stuff. Kushida and Pete just really gave it their all today. There is no limit to the words that I could say about this match, the compliments I can give it, because it was perfect. It was perfect. Then we had the Gauntlet match between Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight. That's a fact of life, dummy. This match was amazing. This match was the most excited I've ever been for an NXT match. I think ever. I'm trying to think back if there was ever one that I was more excited for, but I was so popped for this match. This was amazing. This was the perfect Gauntlet match, the best Gauntlet match I've seen. Everyone did an amazing job. Swerve did an incredible job, even though he had like the lowest expectations from me. LA Knight eliminating Dexter Lumis the way that he did, just popping off in the match, completely unnecessary. He did such an amazing job. Cameron Grimes also did a fantastic job. Dexter Lumis, of course, I would want him to go the whole way, but I think he served his purpose in this match. You don't want I wouldn't have wanted him dominating the whole thing. But he did great, and then giving the silence to LA Knight afterwards, just pushing forward the story. And then again, Bronson winning the whole thing. Fantastic. Started off with Leon coming out crawling. Great way to start a match. And then the ending, cherry on top. This whole thing was perfect. And then we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter. Fantastic match. Walter giving another on top of another amazing performance. Ciampa giving one of the best performances I've seen from him, although I haven't seen that many. But since we've seen him from In Your House forward, or Takeover Portland forward, this was the best I've seen from him. Great stuff all around. All the spots are fantastic. And as much as I want to make fun of you for expecting Thatcher to come out, I feel like it does a story a disservice not having him come out and pushing forward a feud. But that doesn't make me dislike the match anymore. I still think there could have been a little more, but it's far from the Ilya Walter match. So after that, we had the tag team match between MSK, Legado del Fantasma, and Grizzled Young Veterans, soon to be recognized. Amazing match. You had 3 tag teams with fantastic chemistry. all just not only giving great wrestling, but also there was poetry in this match. There was story and heart. You had an entire fucking plot line in there. It was beautiful. And then the extremely emotional ending, having MSK win. Really great stuff. I mean, this is how you do a tag team match. This was amazing stuff. And then Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai. Could have been longer. I would have liked it to have been longer, especially ending Io Shirai's, what was it, 400-day reign? 400-ish? No.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I think it was about 400.
I don't think so. It was about 300 some odd.
Hasn't it been a year?
No.
No? Oh, okay. So 300-ish day reign. You would think they would give a little more love and appreciation in this match. Just over 300. Okay. I know where I'm getting 400 from. Adam Cole posted he had a 403-day reign on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match was good. I just think it needed to be longer. Both performers did an amazing job. The throwback to In Your House was great. But it felt like it got less love than everything else in the night. Does Io a disservice though, but hopefully we get a rematch and a good send off to that reign.
Yeah.
So my pick for match of the night. It's the only time I'll ever pick this kind of match, but I'm picking the Gauntlet match.
I'm not.
You're not. Are you picking the tag team
energy.
match?
I don't have the energy to argue on this, but I am picking the tag team match. It's because I liked how dramatic it was without being melodramatic. It was very nuanced. It was really lovely, honestly. Just the cohesion we saw, I felt like the Gauntlet was just a little difficult to follow. At certain points. I just like the tag match a lot more.
Now, I don't want to discredit anything you're saying, but I feel like when you have a match like this and you say it's a little hard to follow, it probably doesn't help when you're taking notes with every second of the match and having to look back and forth. That probably doesn't help at all.
That's definitely true. Solid in my decision.
I mean, you make points. I already knew how beautiful that match was. Oh, fine. I'll go with you because the Gauntlet match took a little too long getting started.
I expected more eliminations at the beginning. Or closer to the beginning.
That I'll disagree with because I liked how they saved the eliminations for later on. Especially when you had Dexter Lumis giving the silence to Cameron Grimes and then getting pinned by LA Knight in a jackknife cover while still giving the silence. That was such a good moment. But I'll go with you. So MSK versus Legado del Fantasma versus Grizzled young veterans, soon to be recognized. Was that 4 times I did that today?
I think so.
Good. All right, so to run it back, promo of the night, Dog. Wrestler of the night, Walter. Match of the night, MSK versus Legado del Fantasma versus Grizzled young veterans, soon to be recognized. Making it even 5. Huh?
I said 5 times. I love that.
All right. Well, that's our takeover night 1. Liz, would you like to close us out?
I would love to, because I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in or tuned in midway, Liz is suffering from those COVID vaccine second dose side effects.
It's hell, but get vaccinated.
Yes.
If you tuned in tonight, thank you so much. If you tuned in the future, thank you so much. We are going to be live again tomorrow night for night 2, and then we'll be live again on Friday night, and then we'll be live again on Saturday night, and then Sunday night, and then Monday night, and then Tuesday night, and then you'll never hear from us again ever.
Yeah.
So please tune in.
We're gonna take a month-long break after that.
But yeah, please tune in. It'll be fun. I will progressively be more healthy.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in tomorrow for Takeover Night 2. Big stuff is happening tomorrow, so you won't want to miss it. But our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. If you missed part of this podcast, want to check out previous ones. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I am at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And again, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow for Stand and Deliver Night 2.